welcome back to the channel. For anybody celebrating Happy Mother's Day today. So today's video is actually one that's been highly requested, but I have to give a special shout out to a subscriber named MK, who kind of like really brought into focus that I think that this sort of series of videos is going to be relevant. The series being an evaluation of bag wear and tear. So, I have been a Chanel collector since 2008, so we're coming up on the 11th year that I bought my first bag, and I've slowed down like quite a bit. So like I think a lot of people feel like Chanel is like a slippery slope, and like once you buy a bag you want millions of bags, and I think that's definitely the case. However, there is sort of like a natural limit where things slow down, and I've always wanted to be like an informational channel. I know that there's a ton of channels out there in terms of like unboxings and like see what's in my bag and like, you know, look at the purchases that I got at a store. And I know that I do some of those videos, and I know they're a ton of fun because they're a ton of fun for me. But above and beyond it, I think I'm in a unique position to give you guys like a lot of information in terms of like how bags wear over time. So this was something that she and I were going back and forth on a chat. And what I'm going to do in this video, and MK, sorry I'm not reviewing the bag that you want me to review today, although I promise that I'll stick that one that is on the list. But what I wanted to do today was start with my 3 oldest bags and just kind of walk you through in terms of like what the wear and tear looks like. And it's especially relevant because one of the bags is a tote. And so a lot of people are concerned about like what happens to a tote bag over time. Does it lose its shape, etc.? It's not a grand shopping tote, which I'm sorry about. I do have grand shopping totes and I can comment on them, although they don't make them anymore. So this is the executive tote, which is also goes way back, and they don't make this particular version anymore, but they do still carry it as one of their versions of totes that they make. The second bag is patent leather, which I know is kind of resurfacing, so I definitely have comments on patent leather. And then the third is a classic. So all of these bags are 10 years old. All of them I purchased new from whatever Chanel boutique or department store they were purchased from. And I just kind of want to walk you through what they look like. And we're going to be doing it together. I haven't really like pre-scripted this video because I haven't. So I'm sorry. But anyway, the first one is the Chanel Executive Tote. So I bought this in July of 2008. I will never forget it. My sister and I got bags together. And we saved up all summer to get them, or at least for like the first half of the summer. And then she purchased a grand shopping tote, and I got the executive tote from the Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So this bag, I wanted to show you how I keep it stored. I actually keep in the original box, and I lay it flat because I know a lot of people have concerns about bags like kind of crunching at the bottom, like gravity like sinking them down. So I will say that I do keep this one flat because it's fairly slouchy. And then it's like super heavy. Okay, then I still keep this in its dust cover. I guess I don't really have to because the interior of the box is white, so there's not really a reason it's in the dust cover. But then beyond the dust cover, we have the executive tote, super exciting. So this is black caviar with silver hardware. And I do stuff it a bit to keep its shape. I know there's a lot of debates about like, should you stuff it? What do you stuff it with? Like you don't want to overstuff it because then you're going to like push it out too far and it's going to stay that way permanently. I just like put enough in here so that it doesn't like fold in on itself. And my stuffing consists of old gross towels from the kitchen. So, these were like $1, nothing exciting. This is an ancient hand towel. This is like a washcloth that I just put in here only to help keep its shape a little bit. So like if it's sitting, you can tell that 10 years has brought about like a little bit of wear and tear in terms of like the sides being sort of smushed in, but there's no like structural issues whatsoever. So I'm actually going to start with the interior of the bag and then I'll take you through the exterior. So interior of this bag is black nylon, and there were no issues with the nylon whatsoever. So it's never ripped, torn, fallen apart. It's not like fading or you know, there's no areas of wear and tear. It comes with this interior pocket. And the reason I'm taking it out is because I just want to show you that the actual like hardware on the bag is totally fine. There might be like a little bit of like wear and tearness on the top part of the zipper, but it's like nothing to write home about. Obviously the little like snaps still work. That I have have nothing bad to say. Actually, the upshot of this whole video is that all these bags are fine. So like if you just want to like kind of get to the gist of it, that's the deal. I have no wear and tear issues that I'm really going to complain about with any of the bags I'm going to show you, but then other than just like crumbly crumbs on the inside, no problems on the inside. The straps are like in perfect condition, and I have put, you know, everything in this bag. I try not to like overload it, so I wouldn't be like walking around with a bottle of wine or anything in here, or like I don't think I've ever put like a computer in it, but I've put, you know, like a really normal large amount of stuff in my bag. The front, I have no issues with the wear and tear on the hardware. The turn lock still works. It doesn't make that like creaky noise. I know people like, there's a spring inside, I think, of these turn locks, and so sometimes that causes people issues, but there's, you know, definitely no like tarnish issues whatsoever on the bag. And then as far as like the wear and tear, like, I mean, it's fine. I guess this is like maybe a little dented just from sitting like over the course of 10 years. Obviously the weight of gravity when this is stuffed has like pushed the corners in a little bit, but there are like really, I mean, for something that's 10 years old, there are no complaints. So there's no issues where like the leather is fading. There's no issues where the leather is cracked. There's no reason why I would ever need to like, at least where it is at this state, there's like nothing on here that would require any sort of attention. And it also should go without saying that I don't baby my bag. So like I definitely got this bag wet. I actually remember the first time that I got it wet, I did cry a little because it was my first bag and I'd only had it for like 2 months. So I was so stressed out about it. But I have like nothing bad to say. So this is what a 10-year-old, actually almost 11-year-old, 11 in July, bag executive tote looks like over time. So hopefully this would not be a deterrent to you if you're considering purchasing any sort of like tote from Chanel. I think that they hold up just fine. Obviously the fact that it has feet is super helpful because it's kept you know, junk off of the bottom of the bag, but otherwise there's no issues here. Okay. Second bag that I ever bought, which was a year later. So this will be 10 years in this upcoming July, is my very first wallet on a chain. And this is just like such a good bag. So this is burgundy patent leather with silver hardware. Again, this is a bag that I haven't babied. I like bring it everywhere. I never worry about it. And from a wear and tear perspective, it's totally fine. As you can see, it doesn't have a pocket on the back. Like some of the new ones have a pocket on the back, which I actually really like. But anyway, people like fret about patent leather. I think there's like a lot of threads out there that indicate that it can like blister in certain weather conditions. It can blister in rain. Color transfer is a legitimate concern. As far as like water and blistering and stuff like that, weather stuff, I've never experienced that with any of my bags. I do live in Chicago, so we don't have like the heat and humidity that maybe like other states might have, but I don't see any issues. So anyway, opening it, we are totally good. This bag has, let's see, so it has like burgundy leather to start, just to match the exterior of the bag. This is how a lot of seasonals are. And then the inside is actually like nylon. And as you can see, there are just no problems with it whatsoever. All of the credit card slots are good. I know sometimes it's a little bit of like a struggle to fit your credit cards into like wallets and wallet on chains for the first time, but they don't break like over time. Nothing is a problem there. And then I have somebody's business card, and then also just nylon interior here, just fine. There are no issues like whatsoever with any of the hardware in terms of like tarnishing. I mean, this thing pretty much looks, I'll tell you one comment in terms of age, but it pretty much looks like just as good as the day that I bought it, which will be 10 years ago in July. I've never had any issues with the chain. I've never had also any issues with like leather peeling. Like I've heard that that's been a concern that people have, like leather starting to crack or become like dehydrated. Also not any like kind of issue that I'm super familiar with. I tend to be pretty generous in my opinions on designer bags, just because like overall I really do think you get what you pay for. And And if there is ever anything that's like wrong, like threads that are out of place or something starts to come undone, send it back. Like they'll fix it. Most issues I think they'll fix for life, and you might have to pay for them, but I think as an investment, like as a whole, like you're going to be okay. The only thing I'll say is it's gotten a little flat like over time. So I do store this guy on its back, and it's actually like, you know, significantly bigger than, like, I guess that's what it would look like if it was like fully stuffed. However, the one comment I will make in terms of it being flat is that, or like flattened over time, like this kind of sponges down, is that there are no issues with the leather like cracking or becoming dehydrated in either of these corners. I think it's just kind of the natural process of gravity. And then of course, when you put like a bunch of stuff in it, it's fine. It's just sort of the way that it's like sat on itself. So once again, another bag that I have no issues with. Okay, the last one in today's series of review bags is my very first classic. This is a black caviar medium large. Also, all these have silver hardware, which is funny because as I've gotten older, I've become more of like a gold hardware and like light gold hardware fan. But anyway, this is the first medium large I ever bought back when I think this was $3,900, which is crazy. Now they're so expensive. They're so prohibitively expensive. But anyway, this too is a bag that I have not babied, that I have no issues with. So as you can see, the hardware is just fine. Like the grommets on the top are just fine. Like pocket on the back is great. The bottom of the bag, if there's anything on the bottom, it's just because I put it on something on accident. The sides are awesome. I know a lot of people worry about like this junction up here, like the danger junction of like seams and leather. I have had no issues with any of my bags on that. Same with the other side. Integrity is just fine. The flap remains like even to today's date, so it hasn't like, I think some people concern themselves that it's gonna like shift one way or the other or like settle in. It might be a little denty here, but there's a possibility I bought the bag like that, so I'm not 100% that has to do with wear and tear. And then inside of the bag is awesome. So like the hardware at the top is great. Oh, another thing people worry about is like how this like curved flap maintains after years of kind of brushing up against the chains which run through the inside. I have no issues with that. And then the actual inside of the bag it's full of business cards probably, but like otherwise there are no problems whatsoever. I have never utilized the snap, but I can tell you that it still works. So if for some reason you did want to like utilize the snap, there's no problems there. Oh, maybe a little bit. Okay, so here's like maybe one thing that I can tell you that doesn't really bother me. Hopefully you can see it. It's very subtle. I'm doing like a dance with this bag to show you guys. Let's see. Oh yeah, there. Here you can see these like striations. I believe that that's from the zipper that I'm awkwardly tapping with my pointer finger. So that's probably something that's here to stay. But as a whole, you know, there's no problems with this bag like whatsoever. This part, you know, obviously like one side has not like popped up more than the other side. Again, I've never had any problems with the turn lock. It doesn't like make that like squeaking noise that some turn locks make. Also like no problems whatsoever with the chains. The chains have all maintained their integrity. I don't have any qualms with the leather like cracking or dehydrating. And then overall it's maintained like a really good shine. So this is another gorgeous bag. So hopefully this is helpful if you guys are concerned about making the investment. I would hope that this would kind of help balance in favor of just going ahead and making that investment, because really you don't have a whole lot to worry about. And everyone has bags that are not like the greatest, but at least my 3 oldest ones. So if we're looking at something that you're like, okay, am I going to spend like $5,000, to get myself through 10 years? This is kind of like where I'm at a 10-year period with my oldest bag. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. Sorry, as always, it's been forever since I did my last video. I wish everybody a wonderful Mother's Day in whatever capacity you celebrate it. And if you don't celebrate it, no problem with that either. And I will see you on my next one. Bye.